Today I'm going to show you a PCB printer, Injet PCB printer. Basically a modified Epson C670, I think it is. The carriage has been cut here and here and raised so that a PCB board can fit through. I've just built this little jig here which the whole thing will slot into, and then we have a MDF sheet which sits just on top like that for feeding in the PCBs at the right height. Alright, so now we're on to the preparation of the board. Got some wet and dry sandpaper, a 600 and a 1200. So basically just need to give the board a good clean up. It's pretty tarnished, it's been sitting around for a while, so it's pretty much just a matter of trying to get a good, even, clean surface on it. Starting out with the 600 obviously, get all the arch scratches off. Okay, so I've got everything set up and I'm going to show you the complete PCB printing rig. Basically using KiCad, which is an excellent open source PCB design utility. Takes a bit of getting used to, but it's really fantastic. Okay, so first thing to do is to print our alignment sheet. So chuck a bit of paper in there. Got a couple of marks on the edge there. We'll line it up. Just pop that in there. Okay, and while it's printing, I'm just going to give my board a clean up with some mess just to get up any oil residue or anything like that that's going to interfere with the ink. The other thing we'll do as well is we'll warm the board up a little bit. Just because of the humidity, the toner tends to stick to the board unless it's exceptionally dry, so we only want the toner to stick where the ink is, obviously. So there you can see the rubbish comes off there. Once we've cleaned it, we don't want to touch it again with our bare hands, so it's nice and clean. And then into the trusty sandwich maker. Probably just about a minute is enough. Okay. There's our alignment sheet, and we'll just put that back in there. Again, line it up with the marks. The printer's reasonably accurate, but you're going to want to have a bit of leeway on each side, so you want your board obviously to be a little bigger than your design. So, all right. Now, just gonna and no, I wouldn't recommend making toasties in here after doing this. They're probably going to taste like toner and fine glass. Okay, so put that onto there, and we'll just align it. Try and leave a bit of room each side. And now just going to tack it down at each end. Right at the edge, just so it doesn't move. Okay.
side. So by the time I finish doing this, the board will have cooled down to a nice dry warm. This will hold the roller up, so we just basically push it in there to pre-lift the rollers. If we don't, this PCB board tends to hit it and jump and messes up our alignment and that sort of thing. So if there's already a board in there, it just essentially pre-raises it and allows it to go through smoothly. So next up we're going to print, and I'm doing a best photo option. And here we go. And basically, as soon as it comes out of the printer, we're going to put it straight into the toner and dust it. So the toner will stick straight to the ink. I should note that this process normally involves a great deal of trial and error. Don't expect to get a great board your first go. This is of course a mirror image of my sign. So when the components go through, they are in the correct position. Okay. Now just drop that straight into the toner. There is already toner in there because, as you might have guessed, this is not my first run. So, toner there. And now, get it right by the edges. Okay, that's pretty good. It's really important that you don't touch any tracks. If you touch any tracks, it's all over. So now we've got a good covering over our ink. It's nice and black. Now the real test now is when I go and try and blow off the excess ink. Hopefully it hasn't really stuck to the board, and it will just leave the tracks. So I'm going to go and blow that out the window. Alright, so I've blown off all the excess toner. So you can see it's pretty shiny. I mean, there's still a little bit there, but it should be okay. What you don't want is, if you can see up there, there's excess toner, and that's where I've had my fingers. So you can imagine as soon as you touch the board, the toner is just going to stick there. So we can get rid of that, but that's all outside the line. So there's a little dot there as well. If you've got some really small dots which you can clean up like that, not sure what's caused that, or that one there, but you can use a little cotton bud or something. But if the error is like in between some tracks or something like that, you really have to start over. You can't clean that up. Okay, so I've just given it a bit of a clean up with a Q-tip, and the other thing you can do is just use a pin, just to try and, I don't know if you can see that, just to try and scrape away any bits that shouldn't be there. Maybe you can loosen them a bit and then blow them away. If you've got some very, very fine lines, don't worry too much. They won't survive the etch anyway, so yeah, it's looking pretty good. And I think we're going to try a bake. So just get off the excess there. Just always be conscious, because it's when you feel like you're almost done, That's when you just grab the thing in the wrong place and you end up smearing a track, and then you have